Before I begin talking about what the main point of this video is, I would like to give my thoughts and prayers to Justin Wilson, his friends, and his family, who earlier today in the IndyCar Pocono race, one car went sideways into the wall in turn number one, and debris went flying everywhere. And one of the big pieces of debris hit Justin Wilson in the head, and all of a sudden it knocked him out unconscious. They couldn't get him out of the car. They had to get him out of the car. He was airlifted and went to a local hospital. And as of 9 p.m. Eastern Time, August 23rd, 2015, it was said that he is still with us on this earth. The thing is, he's in a coma and he's in critical condition, and I hope that things can get better, and hopefully it isn't too long before we can see him doing what he loves to do, racing. So once again, I give my thoughts and prayers to him, his friends, and his family, and hope that things get better. Anyway, now I'm going to talk about the race, but also why am I doing this video like this? Well, recently, I guess YouTube, Google, whoever was responsible for this decided to change some of the uploading features, and one of the biggest things was changing live streams. And things, unfortunately, I cannot like live stream like I used to, which in case you did not know, I used to do all of my previous race reviews via Google Hangout. But the thing is, because of the changes, I cannot access Google Hangouts like I used to. I don't know. I don't know if it's just my problem, or if other people are having the same problem. But whatever it is, I unfortunately am not going to be able to do race reviews like I used to. And instead I'm going to be doing these videos, which hopefully, as of me talking and recording this, it won't last longer than 10 minutes. And unfortunately for those who like a ton of information, etc., unfortunately that's not going to happen. I'm really going to be able. Really, the only things that I'm going to be able to talk about are sort of my thoughts on the race and heading into the next race. But the thing is, I do have some big news. Hopefully in the future I can start a blog, and I think that will sort of um, give me a new opportunity, or a new way to recap what goes on in NASCAR, and hopefully I'll be doing this very soon. But anyway, so now I'm going to get into my thoughts on the race. If you compare, when I compare this race to most of the season so far, I think that this was a pretty good race. But however, if you compare this race to previous Bristol races, this was a pretty tame race, and definitely not what fans like myself really want to see from a Bristol race, especially the Bristol night race, which which really is an event like no other. And the thing is, I think one of the reasons why I think the Bristol race this time around was not as good as previous Bristol races was because of the configuration. For those who don't know, Bristol has actually undergone several configurations. I think this track first started hosting NASCAR races in 1961, and the thing is, from 1961 to 1969, it was slightly shorter than what it currently is right now. And the thing is, it was kind of, I would say, this semi-banked flyer track. Then all of a sudden, from 1969 to I believe 1991, it they, they added a lot of banking, and the thing is, it was still an asphalt track. And the thing is, there have been some races that I've seen under that layout, of where some of the cars use the bottom, and other times all the cars were running along the top side, like we saw last night. And then all of a sudden, 1992, from 2007, the, Bristol underwent another change, and this time they changed the surface to the concrete. They might have messed with the banking. I don't really know, but the thing is, how whatever changes they made outside of that, it really it really changed Bristol forever. And when it comes to the attendance and TV ratings. It was a change for the good. Bristol races started selling out, and thing is there was something about them that was different. Why? Well, thing is I think it was because it was this one group racetrack where you had to be super aggressive, and most notably there were several moments like the bump and run, the bump and run where you had to bump someone to knock them out of the way. For example, Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace. They did it twice in 1997 and 1997 and 2002. And to me, those types of races at Bristol are known as some of the most exciting races. And then all of a sudden, between the 2007 races, they changed the layout, made it a progressive bank racetrack, and then really it kind of Bristol, I think, since then has lost its luster. They did once again change the layout between the 2012 race after a response from the fans and the fallen attendance. And the thing is, since then, I think that this new Bristol, if I'm gonna call it that, I think has been better than the Bristol that lasted from '07 to 2012. But to me, it's still, in my opinion, nowhere where it needs to be. And unfortunately, I think that unless something changes, we're going to continue to see these types of races, which unfortunately I think isn't really going to help Bristol or NASCAR in the long run, or maybe won't change like that much at all. You know. Um, but overall, so I mentioned that this race was a team race, was a team race, but to me there were some uh there were some good battles. For example, the battle between the eventual race winner Logano and Kevin Harvick. And for Logano, this is now his second career victory. And the thing is, I think that like this year, Logano is definitely proving that he is definitely going to be one to watch out for. Once the chase starts, because to me Logano is proving that you could give him any type of racetrack to race on, and he will go out there and have a shot at winning. He's won at Daytona. He's now won at Bristol twice in the Cup Series. He swept the Watkins Glen races a couple weeks ago. He won at Kansas last season. He's kind of winning them all. And Kevin Harvick, who finished in second place, once again another second place. This is actually his 10th career second place finish, eighth since his last career victory. And actually, if Kevin Harvick can get two more, he will tie the record for most second place finishes in the modern era of NASCAR, with the most being 12, Bobby Allison back in 1970. It was 1970 something. It might have been 1974. So overall, Kevin Harvick, even though he only has two wins and they came really early in the season, he's had a great car and a winning car. I would say almost every single week, and definitely watch out for Kevin Harvick. Also, this was a race where Joe Gibbs Racing, they were still very strong, but the thing is, not as strong. And the thing is, this time they had some unfortunate luck with Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch having either loose wheels or tire failures. Matt Kenseth blew an engine, and Denny Hamlin, while he was good, in my opinion, he wasn't really exactly the best. And the thing is, for the first time, and the thing is, Hendrick Motorsports, who in the past few weeks has been described as a team that has fallen apart. At least two of its drivers got great finishes. Johnson finishing fourth, first top five since Daytona, and Dale Earnhardt finishing sixth. Jeff Gordon, even though he had two loose wheels late in the race, where he would have to come down pit road. Once he got to the front, he was very competitive, and to me, if those issues had happened, he could have finished and set the top five. Casey Kane was really the only driver. He was just kind of in the middle of the field all race long. And so the thing is, that's kind of everything I really, unfortunately, have to say. Oh yeah. Also, Michael Waltrip Racing announced during in the middle of the week that they will cease full time Sprint Cup Series operation for 2016 and beyond. And so the thing is, I'm pretty sad. I'm pretty sad to see that happen. I think that it's definitely a huge loss for NASCAR. And I think it kind of raises the question of what NASCAR can maybe like do do to maybe keep teams, especially these sort of semi big teams like MWR, alive, because definitely uh, low TV ratings and kind of fallen attendance at some of these tracks is definitely not helping. And to me, unless something has changed, it's only going to get worse. But anyway, next week we head off to Darlington. Uh, the track Too Tough to Tame, the Lady in Black, and to me, this Darlington race I think is going to be I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated races of the season. If I said next week, it's actually in 2 weeks. Labor Day weekend. Yes, I said Darlington and Labor Day weekend. The first time a Darlington race is on Labor Day weekend since I think 2003. And the thing is, it used to be on Labor Day weekend from I believe the 50s all the way up until 2003. So the thing is, tradition is returning, and the thing is, there are actually a lot of throwback paint schemes to either early in the driver's career or actually past drivers like Cale Yarbrough and a couple other drivers. And so overall, I think that and also the thing is, this is going to be the second race that's going to use the low downforce package, the same package used at Kentucky, and this time I think the only difference is that they're bringing a softer tire, and through what I've heard through many of the drivers, a softer tire should guarantee better racing. So to me, I think that this Darlington race in 2 weeks could actually be one of the most exciting races of the season, with a lot of passing, a lot of lead changes, and possibly a lot of drama and unpredictability. And the thing is, the thing is, I would definitely say be sure to tune in for this race, that race. But and who do I think is going to be strong? Well, to me, I think that this could be that could be the week where Hendrick Motorsports gets back on track, and we could see a Hendrick driver in victory lane. But to me, I think that Gibbs and Penske are still going to be just as strong, and maybe depending on strategy and maybe some drama, we could possibly have a driver break along winless streak or maybe even a first time winner. We've seen it in recent years with drivers like Regan Smith. And so to me, definitely be sure. I think that you're definitely I think that you're definitely going to regret it if you choose to not watch this upcoming Darlington race. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Unfortunately, this went longer than 10 minutes, but it's not that long. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. Super Master signing out.